Howdy folks, welcome back. We have a very hard puzzle today. We'll see if we can get to that final component and get it solved. But for the beginning, let's start looking for pairs. Lots of numbers everywhere. The first thing that just jumped into my mind, I saw a pair of 4s and I see a pair of 1s and a pair of 3s. But these 4s I brought to the left, and I have a 4 down here to help me out, so I only have one spot left for the 4. I have a pair of 4s here across the top, across the middle, and down the center. So we only have one spot there. Middle, bottom, left, and center. There are all the 4s for the game. So that is good. We like that. Let's see here. We have a pair of 3s, just kind of coming back up to the pairs. So we have to have a pair up here. Let's see here. 9s, we have all 3. We have 4s, we have 8s. Okay. Down to the bottom, I have a pair of 8s. So I know I need an 8 here and here. We've got a pair of 6s here coming towards the middle. I noticed a pair of 1s right here down the left and the center. Just leaves one spot left for the 1s here. Anytime there's like a little alleyway, I like to look. So a 9 and a 4. Of course, we have a 9 and a 4 here already. That's where this 1 came down and gave us a hand. So we have a little alleyway here too. A 1 and a 4. Okay. I noticed this 1 does come across, and we have a 1 that comes across. We just have 2 spots for a 1 here. We have a 3, a pair of 3s going vertically now. 3 down the right side, just one spot left for the 3. We have an 8 and an 8 going again vertically, looking for pairs. So we have an 8 down the right side, 8 down the center. All right, now I'm going to look in these 3 cubes here for some pairs. We've got 1s, we've got 4s, we've got... Okay, so that's a lot of the numbers. Okay, now I'm looking in this right column here. I noticed this 9 blocks these 2 from being a 9, and I don't have a 9 in this column, so 9 has to go here. And then the other 2 numbers we're missing, let's see, a 1, we're missing a 2, and of course a 2 can't go here, so we have a 2 here. 3, 4, 5, looks like we're missing a 6, 7, 8, 9. So that helps that one. Okay, we do have a 6 down the left side, so we have to have a 6 here. We have a 5 that comes across the top, so 5 has to be in one of these 2 spots. Let's see, we have an 8 here that comes across. So cool, this 8 and 6 come up, and they do something what I call a double lock. You see how there's a 6 and an 8 here and a 6 and an 8 here? No matter which one is a 6, then the other one has to be an 8. If this is a 6, this is an 8. If this is a 6, this is an 8. But what that tells me is 5 can no longer go here. So now here's the only place left for a 5. And the only other number we're missing here in this cube is a 2. Now we've got 2 numbers missing here in this column. 1, 2, we're missing a 3. And of course we can't have a 3 here. So there's our 3. 4, 5, 6. We need a 7. Only one spot left for that. 8 and 9. Okay, we're missing 2 numbers here. Looks like a 5 and a 7. We do have a helpful 7 here. So we have a 7 and a 5. All right, now we have 2 7s now that come across the bottom and through the middle. So only 2 spots left for the 7 there. We've only got 3 numbers missing for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5, and it can't go here, but it could go here or here. 6, we've got our 7 identified, and then we need an 8. All right, now an 8 could go here, and I'm just going to jot these two. It could go either one of those two as well. Just jot those in there for now. Okay, we've got 3 numbers missing here. Let's see, we need a 1, and it can't be here. So we could have a 1 here or here. We need a 2. Now the 2 can't go here. So we have a 2. We have a 3, 4, 5. We need a 6. Well, the 6 can't go here. So we have a 6 and a 6. And then 7, 8, 9. So that row is nice and neat, all tucked in. We like those. Okay, we've got 3 numbers here that we should be able to at least sort out what we need. We've got a 1, we need a 2, can't be in the middle. So 2 has to be top or bottom. We need a 3, can't be in the top. So 3 has to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we need a 9. And I don't have any limitations on the 9s just yet, so 9 can be any one of those guys. Okay, that looks good. So we're just kind of sorting those out. Let's see here. We do have a 5 that comes down the right side. So now we have a 5 here, which creates a ghost row. So see how we have a 5 could be here? Well, either way, one of these two has to be a 5. That tells me I cannot have another 5 in this column. So if one of these two is a 5, well, it cannot be this one anymore. So this is the only one left to be a 5. Ghost rows. Ghost rows are very important in the hard and the very hards. You've got to know the ghost rows. It projects. Even though I don't know which one of those is a 5, I know a 5 has to be in this column and it can't be anywhere else. So now you see we actually created a double lock here. Also, one of these two was our 8, so now we know this one has to be our 8. Okay, so that is also helpful. Let's see here. This 1 does come down, so we could have a 1 here or here. We've got a 2 in one of these two spots, 3, 4. Okay, so the 5 can't be in the right column and it can't be across the bottom. So 5 is either here or here. But we already know we have a ghost row right here. 5 cannot be here in the middle. And so actually this is the only spot left for the 5. Okay, we need a 6. Now 6 cannot be in the right column. So 6 is going to be one of these two spots. We've got our 7 and our 8 marked and our 9. So that cube is fully marked out. Okay, we like that. Okay. All right. Just kind of letting my mind. We got a lot of open spots up above. Looking for some pairs. Okay, so this 9, both vertically and horizontally, both help us out. 9 has to go here in the middle. Now this 9 comes down the center and it fills out the rest of this cube. Now we have to have a 9 down here. Okay, so let's see what else we have. All right, we have a 9. 8 could go everywhere. 7 can't go here because of this 7. So we know that one of these two is a 7. Okay, so that comes across, and this one comes across. And then we have a 7 through the middle, so our 7 has to be up here. We only got 2 numbers missing here. What are we missing? 1. Okay, we need a 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. We need a 2 and a 6 right here. 2 and a 6. There we go. 2 and a 6. That locks those fellers in. We also have a pair of 9s now and a 9 up the left side, so the 9 has to go across the top. We also have a 1 that has to go across the top. Okay, so this is, okay folks, this is a triple lock. These 3 numbers have to be a 1, a 7, and a 9. I've got a 1, a 7, and a 9 in the middle, and I've got a 7, ghost row, 1, and a 9. So it has to be, these three are now locked. They have to be a 1, a 7, and a 9, no matter how we dice it up. So the other number we're missing in this cube is a 5. So 5s have to be down here. There we go. And now we have a 6 and an 8 here, which means this one has to be a 6 or an 8. Those are the only two numbers that can fit that are left up here. Those are double locked. Okay. Super duper important there. So that is good. Okay. All right. We're getting here down to the nitty gritty. Just a couple spots left. We've got to sort these out. Okay. Let's see. I have a 9 that comes down. So 9 could still go these ones. I've got an 8. Okay, I have a 7 and a 7 and a 7. Okay, so 7 has to be in one of these two. We've got our 6. Now 5 comes down the left and across the middle, so I can be in any one of these ones. We have a 4. 3 comes across. Okay, so look at this here, folks. I can't have a 3 here, and I can't have a 3 here, and I can't have a 3 here. So the only way to get a 3 in this column is one of these two have to be a 3. So no matter how I like it, even if one of these could be a 3, one of these two has to be a 3 to get it in that column. So that's going to be locked in place there. I cannot change that. That has to be there. Okay, so that's a helpful lock. We need a 2. 2 does come through the middle. 2 comes across. So 2 could be any of these three. My 1 comes across. Got lots of places for the 1s. Okay, I'm getting to this. I need to sort out the rest of these numbers here. Okay. I've got a 1, 2 across the top, 2 up through the center. Okay, so I only have 2 spots for a 2 here. 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I can't have a 6 in the right, but I could have a 6 here. We've got our 7 identified. Now 8 can be across the top. And I think, okay, cool. All right, so here's another cool technique. There's one called the crisscross or the X-wing. I call it the crisscross. If you'll notice that there is an 8 in these two cells and an 8 in these two cells, and they create a crisscross pattern. If this is an 8, then this has to be an 8. Or if this is an 8, this has to be an 8. See that crisscross? But either way, the center column and this right column now have an 8, no matter which crisscross we use. So that tells me that in this third cube, I can't have an 8 in either one of these columns. So the 8 has to go either here or here. That crisscross pattern, that one's a pretty neat one as well. I like that one. Okay. Now see the 6 and 8. 6 and 8. That's pretty blatant. If this is an 8, that makes this an 8. That'll make this a 6. But that means either one of these could be a 6. But if this is a 6, and this is a 6, and this is an 8, then this is an 8. See, that's kind of that little ending one I kind of get stuck on. Okay, so what's the other number I'm missing in here? 3? Okay, I can't have a 3 across the bottom, so my 3 has to be, whoop, there or there. And then I have this 1 and 6. See, this is kind of doing that same... Oh, cool. Hey, we do have another crisscross. Okay, see these 6s here? I told you it was important to know these crisscross. And check out this. There's our 2 6s here. So that creates, again, another X-wing or a crisscross. Do you see that? If this is a 6, then this has to be a 6. If this is a 6, then this has to be a 6. But either way, our left column and our right column have a 6. That tells me these two cannot be a 6, because that would eliminate these two from being a 6, and then 6 can't both go in the left lane. So these two cannot be a 6. So the only spot left for a 6 is there, which makes that one our 3, which makes this one our 1. Now I just put some numbers in there. I'm going to have to come over here and kind of follow through with these now. Okay, so now this one is our 2. Now this one is our 6. Now this one is our 8. Right? Now this one is our 6. Now this one is our 8. Okay, now I've got a 6 and an 8 here, so that makes this one our 2. Alright, now this is a 6. Now this is a 7. Very good. Now we put a 3 here, so that means our 3 has to now go here. 3 and 5. Alright, I've got a 1 here, so let me clean up my 1 up here. Very important to keep those pencil marks clean. I get kind of confused fairly easily. If I don't keep up with my pencil marks, they can get out of hand really quick. Okay, so now that we have a 7 here, one of these two is our 7, so there's our 7 and our 8. Okay, now that this is a 1, can only be our 5. There's our 1, there's our 8, there's our 9. And they just kind of cascade. We just got to keep our notes nice and clean. There's a 9. Let me get rid of my 9 over here. Okay, all right. Okay, I know I put more things down here. I just got to go back through them again and double check. All right. Okay, we're just gonna careful here. I know I'm getting close. We're just gonna sort out these last couple little numbers. We have a 1 across and a 1 across. We have to have a 1 and a 1. And I need a 2 and a 9, and I have a 2 and a 9 here, so I have to flop those. That one could be a 2, that one could be a 9. That row is now sorted out. Okay, so this one could be a 3 or a 3, a 6 or a 6, and then a 9 could go here, or a 9 could go here. All right, but a 9 can't go here, so now that column is done up proper. Let's take a look at this one. We have a 1. All right, now we still have a 2 that comes across the middle and a 2 down the center. So we still have 2 that could be a 2. All right, we've got a 3 down the right side, 3 down the center still. So we have these two marked as our 3. 4. Okay, we have a 5 through the middle, a 5 across the top, 5 down the left, 5 down the right. So we actually only have one spot left for our 5. All right, and see that 1 and 9, that line up nice and neat. We've got our 6, we've got our 7, we've got our 8, and we've got our 9. So now that's all nice and tidy. Okay. All right, just double checking my numbers here. So now we're down to the last little puzzle. And I think I'm going to get myself confused here. Do you guys see it? There's like one I'm missing somewhere. 2, 3, and 9. 7 and 9, 1 and 9, 1 and 7, 2 and 6. Do you folks see it? I'm stumped right here. This is that ending in these hards and very hards. There's a pattern right here. I am not finding. There's only so many numbers right here. This should be. This is where my brain is getting stuck on these hards and very hards. There's this last piece. Okay, so all right, so here's a 2 and a 9, and these two can't be a 2 and a 9. Okay. So I have a 2 and a 7. I'm trying to find a way to break it, right? So if this is a 2 and a 7, and these were 6 and 9, then this couldn't work, right? So these two can't be a 6 and a 9, because this 2 and a 7 wouldn't work, and this 6 and a 9 wouldn't work. So these two have to be, one has to be a 6 and a 7, or a 2 and a 9, but they can't be both, or it'll break this. See right there? Okay, there's right there. Now I just got to sort that out in my brain. Why can't I not see that? I can't have 2 and a 7, because that'll break this one. Okay, my brain is stretching here. It's like it's trying to grip, but it's not grabbing it. It's not grabbing it. Come on, brain. Make some sense of it. See, and this is where I break down, and I just have to guess one. So like if I go up here to this, so I know they can't be the same, right? I have to use, so if it's a 7, I can't do a 2 then. If it's a 7, then it has to be a 6. If it's a 7, then it's a 6. Okay. And if that's a 7 and a 6, then that's a 9 and a 2. Okay, and that's a 1 and a, oh, 1 and a 2, that won't work. Okay, so, all right, so see this 1 and a 2? Remember I have said these two had to be, they can't both be a 7 and a 2 or a 6 and a 9, right? They have to split. So I did this as a 7 and this is as a 6, because it can't be a 7 or 2 because it breaks this one. So if this is a 7 and this is a 6, that makes this a 1 and makes this a 2. If this is a 7, that makes this a 1. If this is a 6, that makes that a 2. Now if this is a 1 and a 2, that makes this impossible. So these two can't be 7 and 6s. Okay. And so it has to be either a 7 or a 2. So if it's not a 7, that means it has to be a 2. All right, so let's follow that through. Let's see if my brain sorted that out or if I broke it. Here's a 7, there's a 9, there's a 1, there's a 7. All right, so there's our 1, so there's our 9, there's our 6. Okay, last spot for a 1 and a 2. We've got our 6, so that makes it a 3, and a 9, and a 2, and a 3. Whew, there it is, folks. Okay, well, I didn't have to write very much down. That's good. I just keep working on my brain to trying to find that last little pattern. I feel pretty good about what we found. As always, I recommend printing off a couple copies if you want to play along with. And always welcome any comments, suggestions, or challenges. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.